Hey, welcome back, guys. One of the crazier moments of Power Force Episode 5 consisted of Jernard's climactic shootout with the Serbs. The unhinged CBI boss was left emotionally scarred due to the events of the Serbian War, which gained Vic, Tommy, and the CBI a competitive underworld advantage, but left them down a few soldiers in the process, most notably Elijah, Jernard's right-hand man, in the wake of he and Diamond's newfound friction post the Elder Samson's release. On the surface, it seemed his erratic, semi-automatic display was rooted in saving Tommy and Liliana's lives from surefire demise, courtesy of Mirkovic and the remaining Serbian collective. But was it really? In today's video, we'll be assessing what Jernard's true intentions may have been in the final act, and whether they were genuine or perverse. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Power. Here we go. I gave up my future for him, E. College, a whole different life. What I lost, that shit gone forever. Jernard spoke these words to Elijah, his clandestine partner in the mutiny that never was, against his progressive brother and de facto CBI honcho, Diamond, whose incarcerated predicament cost him 15 years of leadership and simultaneously garnered Jernard 15 years of development at the head of the CBI ranks. His soliloquy was littered with lamentations of sacrifices he was forced to make in order to properly secure and maintain the CBI's underworld standing, one that Diamond and his unexpected alliance with Tommy have inadvertently threatened. Jernard was forced to exhibit strength in a weakened time, one caused by his brother's removal from society, and that lapse in leadership didn't result in an additional lapse in power for the brothers' crew. To the contrary, Jernard's decisions bolstered the group professionally, but slighted the underboss personally. These slights haven't been lost on the younger Samson, and remained the fuel behind his rage against his brother and Tommy's influence upon him. He had a vision once Diamond was released, one that upheld the two as equals in the Chicago drug trade, kicking ass, taking names, and enjoying the spoils together. He never dreamed after all that time that he would be forced to not only take a backseat to Diamond by default, but also a newcomer, an outsider no less, who not only had no history with them, but didn't even look like them. This stark cultural contrast added further fuel to Jernard's burning fire. As I've stated repeatedly on this channel, Chicago is widely regarded as America's most segregated city, and the complicated history of black street organizations versus white ones is as old as time itself. CBI's history versus the Flynn's is a microcosm of those complications in this fictional display. It's the reason why Tommy was unable to forge an alliance with Diamond and Walter in the first place, and why the younger Flynn was a necessity in the underworld's power void if the alliance was ever going to stick long term. Though this triumvirate was ideal, considering the benefits on the other side of its functionality, it was never in Jernard's plan or his overall vision for street supremacy. Having been forced to now play third fiddle in his own organization, next to Diamond and Tommy respectively, you can understand why he's donned an upside-down smile for most of this series. He has physically fought his brother and secretly plotted against him in hopes of regaining that which is rightfully his, the very thing he forfeited all those years for. This understanding of his current dilemma offers us keen insight on why Elijah's death in battle was such a major loss for Jernard. By the younger Samson's own admission, Elijah was the only one he could trust, down for anything, and prepared to follow Jernard through the depths of hell if need be. The soft-spoken soldier had his water permanently shut off during the Serbian War and left Jernard at a critical crossroads considering the aforementioned. With this most loyal soldier now only a memory, he'd never be able to fully usurp his brother's position in CBI without major blowback from all those loyal to him. Also, Diamond's newfound bond with Tommy would only strengthen his position in the case of an attack by Jernard. He'd have to move tactically if unopposed reign was still his primary objective. and his quotes leave no doubt that it is. This brings us to that final scene, one that's ambiguous depending on how you look at it. On the surface, Jernard's final hurrah could be interpreted as a rescue effort for an ally in need, one that had been abandoned by the other troops once the actual mission was over. However, some key details point to something a bit more sinister. For one, prior to setting out on the murderous endeavor, Jernard gave one last look into the CBI shop towards his brother Diamond, as if to convey he was about to do something that would damage their relationship irreparably. Next, he conducted the drive-by shooting in front of Tommy's Chicago residence. How did he know he'd be there in order to save him exactly, if that was the case at all? Also, remember previously, in episode 4, Jernard tried to enlist Liliana in an assassination effort against the one who she's now partnered with, offering her 8 times the money he owed her for taking the potential kill shot. And finally, of all the people who were injured in the shooting, none of them were Serbs. However, Liliana was shot through the shoulder, only noticing the damage after believing it was Tommy's blood before realizing that it was her own. This lends credence to Tommy being the true target. But perhaps even more damning is this. Jernard is shown in the final scene torching his mask, gloves, and car, likely believing he achieved his murderous goal as he stares seditiously towards the camera. Now sure, you could argue that if his intent was to indeed attack the Serbs, that he'd have to torch his car all the same. But the quickness in which he discarded these items lent credence to the fact that they could only be recognized by a familiar, something that the Serbians are not. Jernard's mission, according to this theory, is that his loss of Elijah wouldn't go unpunished, and only by executing his brother's budding right hand could he secure his position, entitlements, and any semblance of his original vision. But what are your thoughts on all of this? Did Jernard set out to murder Tommy or save him and Liliana? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.